So we're now at the last of our level 4 workouts. So starting with a little different variation of the squat. Again, for the posterior chain, mainly the glutes, not so much hamstrings. Starting in a kneeling position, what we're going to do is we're just going to come up, extend our hips to the point where our body is straight, and squeeze our glutes. And then as we lower ourselves down, rest if you have to, but what I'm going to do is just stay maybe an inch above what would be resting, just a little bit, so that you can feel the muscles constantly working. Back up, squeeze the butt cheeks, glutes back down. Just burn it out with that fashion. There, a little variation of the lying squats, or the single leg lying squats, I should say. Just bring ourselves to the top, pushing with our hands, and without lowering ourselves, just switch legs. Well, you can lower yourself if you have to. Just switch, holding for a few seconds at a time. If I'm going a little too quick, it's because I want to go home. Just kidding. There, again, variation of the calf raise, just combining a few of the variations we did before. So just gonna start with the close stance. Do a calf raise, bring our feet to shoulder width apart. Form a rep, wide. Form a rep, back to shoulder width, back to close. Just keep repeating that. From there, making our way back over to the pull-up bar. So we're gonna move into chin-ups, actually something we haven't done. Same for the underhand rows, we're working more of the biceps, but because with an underhand grip, we can't actually get our arms all the way overhead, as opposed to with an overhand grip like that. So what that does, it's gonna put a little bit more of a stretch on the lats when you're in the dead hang, and that's also, thanks to the stretch reflex, gonna help us get a greater contraction in the lats at the top, even though you're not going to be able to extend your arms behind your body maybe as well as you would with the overhands. Place our feet through, again, underhand grip, just shoulder width apart. Just be careful coming out. Alright, so from there, this next exercise, it's a really small range of motion. If you're still having trouble with the pull-ups, this is probably going to help quite a bit. So you can probably imagine that when most people go into the dead hang, they just sink. So that's what we're going to do. Just sink, let our shoulders raise up, and then from there we want to pull our shoulders down. Just hold that for a few seconds and go back up. So without the arms, you might be able to see it a little more clearly. It's going to look like this. You're going to be shrugging the shoulders as you sink, and then just lower them the best you can. Hold for a few seconds. Back up, and on the pull-up bar, it's going to look something like this. Again, you obviously don't have to use the band for assistance here. I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. So, again, in the full dead hang, sink. Pull my shoulders down. My arms are remaining relatively straight. Sink, and pull my shoulders down. And of course, you want to try and pull your shoulder blades together. It's going to be a little harder in the dead hang position. And from there, we're going to go into negatives. Before we'd have you just do one at a time. We're going to kind of group them together. So, again, however you have to get yourself to the top, doing it assisted or even jumping up, and just slowly lowering yourself. And normally we just stop there, but again, just jump to the top, slowly lower yourself, and just keep doing that for as many times as you're able to. Moving on to variations, the push-up. Recreating the diamond position just off of the setup for a deep flying push-up. So, so from there we've done full contraction of the chest, or well, not quite full contraction. We'll get to that later. again, just as an opportunity to work on our isometric a little bit, get a little stretch on the chest. Just go into hold, same as we did on the grounds, and hovering just above the ground. Just until you can't do that anymore. Right. From there, moving on the abs. And we're going to perform the same lower ab movements as before, just with our hands over our head. So, and you can either do this with bent knees or straight. I'll show you both. So here, legs off the ground, bring them in the chest, squeeze the abs, back out. Just repeat that. Or you can bring them up straight. The idea is the same. Or as straight as you can. Again, there's some flexibility there. So now we have a little bit of a dynamic setup, I guess you could say. Get into the plank, and again, this doesn't have to be for long distances. Just start to move forward, move yourself back, even go to the side if you want. Just make sure you move both sides. Just keep repeating that over a small or large distance. We'll do fine. Go back into our one leg plank that I think we've done twice already. Switch legs. Right. Coming up on the ends, a little variation of the crunch. Actually, I want to show it from this angle so you can see a little bit better. Now think of making a circle, so you're going to come up, center, down the other side. You can imagine you're working some obliques. If you remember to squeeze the oblique on that side here. Come up, center, down the other side, again working that oblique on that other side.